Hey everyone, it's Dr. Bruce Westfield on the Grind Workshop Podcast, where you are motivated and inspired to be the best version of yourself. So excited to be back with you. I took some time away from the platform to celebrate my wedding anniversary this year. We're taking the month of June to celebrate the 10 years of marriage between my wife and I. I just want to tell her, thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for loving me through all of my pain, loving me through all of the things I've had to overcome in my life. Thank you for 2 beautiful children, and thank you for being a loving and caring wife. I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. For those of you that don't know, my wife has her own podcast. It's called Convos with Crystal. You should definitely go check it out. It's on all major podcast platforms. I definitely believe that you'll be blessed as a result of you checking it out. Also, our marriage podcast is being released this week. It's called Marriage Grind. You should all check that out. I'll let you know when it's available and when you can go ahead and listen to it. Hope you'll be blessed as a result of it. Also, this is Father's Day weekend. I want to tell all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Hope you felt loved, celebrated, and appreciated for all the things that we know you do and the things that we do not know that you do. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get into coffee. As you know, I'm always drinking Cameron's. This is the time of our conversation where you get your coffee, I get my coffee, and we sit down and enjoy just having this regular conversation as if I'm sitting right in front of you and I'm talking with you. Go ahead and get your coffee. While you grab yours, I'll take a sip of mine. Hold on for a second. Wow, that's so good. So good. You know, I was talking to my mom a while back and I was asking her, when did I start drinking coffee? And she thought it was probably like 8 or 9. And I was like, no, it had to have been about 11 or 12. And I think I started really getting into coffee when my mom married my stepdad, and he would take coffee every day to work, and I would make his coffee for him. And I put the French vanilla creamers in, and I really got into all that stuff. So I got into coffee really early, and I don't foresee me stopping anytime soon. So I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can. I just love drinking coffee, fresh, from waking up fresh in the morning, cup in my hand. And I've cut down over the years. I used to drink 5 or 6 cups a day. So now I'm down about 2. So hopefully I can continue to keep doing two a day because the taste is just so great. Anyway, I want to go ahead and get into what we're going to talk about today. You know, I was away in Chicago celebrating my anniversary, and we were looking at some stunning views over there at the Buckingham Fountain downtown, Millennium Park, where the Bean is. And then we went to a ice cream store called Jenny's over by Wrigley Field. And we went in, the ambiance was beautiful, the ice cream was awesome, but it wasn't until I sat down and I had an opportunity to look to my left and I saw this picture. And the picture, it brought some inspiration to me, and it got me thinking about something that I want to talk with you about today that I hope blesses you. On that picture, they showed the process on how they make their ice cream. They showed you on the picture where they get all of the ingredients from, their fresh ingredients. Then they show you in the factories how they make their ice cream, how they bring all of the things together and make their ice cream. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of guts to show people full transparency on how you make something from scratch. And you show people that you don't have any additives, no high fructose corn syrup, none of that crap that these other ice cream companies put into their ice cream. But they show you all the natural things that they put in and all the work. And it got me thinking, they want us to honor the process. They want you to honor what they've done because they're showing you that they are honest about the things that they're putting in, and they're not making any excuses. They're not sorry about what they put into it, and they want us to trust what they have put in. They want you to trust that picture. And I believe wholeheartedly that by looking at that picture, they make a high quality product because I'm tasting it in my mouth. For many of you, your life, if we were to put you in that picture, if we were to put this time frame on there, and I want to talk to you intimately, I want to talk to you about your picture, the picture of your life. When you look at the picture of your life, what are you putting on there? What are you putting on that picture? Are you only putting on the good stuff? Are you only putting on the things that make you happy? Are you going to leave out all of the details, the bad things that happened to you? Are you going to leave out the times where you felt embarrassed? Or are you going to leave all the times where you felt people wronged you? Think about that for a minute. If you were to create a picture just like Jenny's Ice Cream, what would you put on it? I thought about my life. I thought about that 10-year-old boy who, at this point of my life, I've had all odds against me. I've had all the decks, all the cards, all the decks stacked against me. I was a 10-year-old kid who they said had learning disability. They put in special education. They had me held back in the first grade because I didn't want to sit in class and learn because I had so much energy they didn't know what to do with me. And I didn't take the time to learn. Then they held me back because my birthday was late, so I'm 2 years already behind. And then I graduate elementary and high school with my younger brother. And not to mention, this is the same kid who had to struggle to get C's on his report card. I remember asking my mom at the age of 5 when I was in kindergarten or first grade, and I came home with this red F on my report card. And I thought it was good. And I said, "Hey mom, look, I got a red F." And I thought it was good. And my mom says, "Oh, that's not good." I thought it was good, people. But I remember those things. As I'm building my picture, I have no problem with putting that on there because I'm building a story. I'm building a testimony. I'm building something that's going to add value to somebody's life. But since I've been able to overcome that, I've been able to overcome those obstacles that tried to knock me out as a kid, as a 10-year-old kid. Now I'm a PhD, I'm a doctor. And people would have never thought that that would have been the case. But when I posted this picture, I am PhD, on all my social media platforms. I posted it on LinkedIn. I didn't realize what I was going to get. I didn't know the response I was going to get from these people. I went on LinkedIn. There were almost 350,000 people who responded to my post because I was able to show full transparency on what I've had to go through to get to that point, to get to that mark. And I didn't realize that my story, my testimony, would build the lives of others, that it would encourage other people to get up and keep going. I have people private messaging me on LinkedIn. "Bruce, man, you have no idea what I was going through, man, before I saw your post. When I went on LinkedIn, I saw your post and man, it inspired me to get back up. I was about to quit. You have no idea I was about to quit, Bruce." I have people going after a master's degree. "Bruce, man, you have no idea what I was going through. I was just about to give up, man." I have some people ask me, "Bruce, I know I live over here, but is it possible you can get on a phone call and talk to me and help me? I need a mentor." I had a guy all the way in Africa reach out to me just to ask me to mentor him and to help him. And I'm thinking, little old me? Me? No, can't be. But then I had to stop because I got to remember, and I have to remember this. And you will remember this as you start to progress and you continue to progress wherever you want to be. It's not about you. I have to remember that. It's not about me. Everything that I've had to endure in my life, yes, I had to own it. Yes, I had to work through it. But then I didn't get through those. I didn't get through all of those things just to preserve it for myself. I've gotten through those things and worked through them so I can be able to give it out, give it to other people, to encourage other people, to motivate others, to inspire other people, to help them to be the best versions of themselves, because there's so many people trapped in their 10-year-old bodies. They're so trapped in their infant stage. They don't know how to get out, and they need help, and they don't know how to get help. So when they go and they go on all these social media platforms and they see your story, they see you written, full transparency, your story, and you didn't leave anything out. You're speaking to the hearts of children and grown people's bodies. And you don't even realize your story, your testimony, the very thing that is building you up into the man or woman that you are called to be on this earth. It's building the lives of other people. You have no clue of, if you just be real with yourself and you would just work through just some of the stuff that you've been through, you will be where you want to be. But many of you think that you gotta do all this fake stuff and you gotta go and act like you got all these different things that are working behind the scenes in your life, and it's really not real. You got this false sense of security and you think it's real, and it's not building nothing. Yeah, you might have a nice car. Okay, yeah, you might have a nice job, but you still act like a 10-year-old inside. You still act like it. Sure, you might have a beautiful wife, you might have a handsome husband, but you still are that 10-year-old kid who hasn't worked through anything. Some of you need to work. You need to get off of social media. You need to get off of being around all these people who you think are supposed to build you up. You think just because you hang out with 5 or 10 friends on a weekly or regular basis that it's gonna build you up into who you're supposed to be? No, that's not how it works. All they're doing is just prolonging your process. They're prolonging your reality, because you don't even realize as they're building their life, and yeah, they might be hanging out with you right now, but little by little, they're gonna go off into their own life, and then you're gonna be alone to your own thoughts, in your own room, trying to figure out what are you going to do with your life. This is that time. Yeah, you might have anger problems, okay, but how many of you know that you can work through it? Yeah, you might be insecure, but how many of you know you can work through it? Yeah, you might have a lot of doubt, fears, worries, anxiety, but how many of you know you can work through it? Honor the process. It's all part of the process. No man ever becomes great. No man or woman ever becomes great without working through things. And that means you have to go step by step, and you have to learn to honor each and every step. You can't cheat your way through it. You have to work through it. You got to do this. You have to do the work. You can do it. I've had to put the work in every day. I have to earn the right to be who I am each and every day. And people on the outside, they don't validate me. They don't validate what I'm becoming. They don't validate what I'm doing. I validate myself because I know I can see the progress. I know I can see the progress when I don't think the same thoughts I used to think. I don't feel the same way I used to feel. And I don't run to the same things that I used to run to just for comfort. This is not about you feeling good. This is about you being the best version of yourself. And part of you being the best version of yourself is honoring the process by taking ownership of your life. Yes, so that happened to you when you were a kid. So that happened to you when you were 20. You gonna still stay in that thought process? You gotta own it. Yeah, you might feel those emotions right now, but when the emotions are gone, what you got? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and feel sorry for yourself? Are you gonna sit there in that pity party? Or are you gonna get up off the ground and go put in the work? Remember, this is your life. And remember, as you build your life, I told you earlier, as you build your life, you realize that you're building your life to help the people around you, people that you have never even seen. I said I had a guy in Africa reach to me. I would have never met this guy in Africa. I would have never met this guy naturally in Africa if I wouldn't have shared my story. And the very fact that I share my story with him, I'm able to reach more people in other countries that I have not seen or imagined or believed for. But I've done the work, and I'm continuing to do the work because I know there's much more out there. I know there's more people to reach, more people to touch, more hearts to turn. There's more out there. And for many of you, For you to think that you can cheat through life and not have to work through anything, you're wrong. So my point number one is, you've got to take ownership. You have to take ownership of the process. And by the time you start doing that, you will begin to honor every stage of your life a little bit differently. Because then you'll realize, oh, that needed to happen, because if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't have been this person. And that needed to happen because if I wouldn't have gone through that, then I wouldn't be this today. Before I go to a commercial break, I want to tell you this. By you taking ownership of your life, it shows that you love yourself. Do you know when you take ownership of your life, that's the first sign that you love yourself? For those people who have to run to things, they don't love themselves. They're trying to find love. But how many of you know, the longer you keep running, the longer it takes you to discover yourself? We're not going to do that today. I'm going to go to commercial break. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Grind Workshop Podcast. We just took a commercial break. We're talking about honoring the process. And point number one was take ownership of your life. Let's go ahead and jump back into point number two. Point number two is have tunnel vision. You know, when I've done the work, I've had to do the internal work, I had to go back to specific situations and scenarios that were causing me a lot of memories, bad memories. And I would go back and think about, why do I continue to keep having that thought? Why is this bothering me so much? And the reason why it keeps coming up is because that's something that I need to tackle. And it's something that I need to get healing from, or I need to deal with and resolve it. Nothing ever comes up in our head that we think about that doesn't need to be resolved or taken care of or need attention. Whatever you think about, it needs your attention. I'll give you a clear indicator that it needs your attention. If you think about something 3 to 5 times a week, you need to bring it to your attention. You need to do something about it. If it bothers you, you need to bring it up. You need to deal with it. Something that is 3 to 5 times that's coming up in your mind, and it just comes up out of nowhere. You got to deal with it. Can't let it fester on for very long. If you continue to let it fester on and you allow it to keep dominating your mind, you're never going to get rid of it until you deal with it. They say the best way to let something go is to never give attention to it. So deal with it. Because once you deal with it, then you don't have to give it any more attention. When you deal with it, here's what's going to happen. You don't have to pass it down to your kids. You don't have to have other people suffer the consequences of you not dealing with something that you should have dealt with as a small person, as a young man or a young woman. There are things that we take into our adult life that need our direct attention. And if we don't have tunnel vision and deal with it specifically, then it can cause an infection to many people that we don't intend to hurt. I know there are a lot of moms, a lot of dads out there who continue to allow generational curses to continue on generation to generation because they don't know how to deal with certain things or certain situations. And let me tell you this, the very fact that you take ownership of your life and you have that tunnel vision, do you know that you might be the key to breaking that generational curse in your family? Because you see the same thing in your grandmother, you see it in your mom, and you see it in you, and then you see your kids. You don't want that to happen in your kids. You don't want it to continue on in your kids. So you need to deal with it head on so it doesn't pass down to another generation and leave it for them to take care of. You have the energy right now to do it. You have the strength to handle it. You have the time. You have all of the resources. People back then, they didn't have as many resources as we have today to deal with certain situations. And now you do. You have everything at your disposal, everything at your fingertips to handle it and take care of. Why? Because this is the time, if you're thinking about it, to handle it. There are many times when people in our past, our previous generations, they've had the opportunity to deal with it, and then it slipped by. And now, what people do as they get older, it's not wisdom Because there are still people doing the same things over and over again, and they think just because they talk about it and say, don't do that, don't do this, they think that it's passing down wisdom. No, that's just passing down your regret. You don't operate like that. You shouldn't operate like that. The way you should operate now is, if you want to be able to have wisdom and share people what you've learned, overcome it. Overcome it. That's how you give wisdom. You give wisdom by overcoming it, and then you say, I've been through this before, and I figured out how to get through it. Blah, 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 blah. We're not giving out regret stories, and you shouldn't give out regret stories. Overcome this stuff. And as you overcome it, you're building your story. You're building that frame I was explaining to you earlier. You're building a story that people can relate to, and it can help the lives of many people. You have no clue. Once you overcome it, it might inspire you to write that book that you've always been wanting to write for the past 20 years, or to start that podcast to bring inspiration to a country, a nation, or maybe a city that you live in that you know is living in conditions that are bad. There's things that you're supposed to do in your life that are going to help so many people, but you can't help people if you don't first learn to honor the process and overcome the things in your life that are causing you to not be the best version of who you know you're supposed to be. I want to tell you, because there are many people that need to hear this. You haven't heard these words in a long time. There are many people who just pass you by. They walk by, they don't care about you. I want to tell you, I care about you. I love you. I appreciate you getting to this point. But you got to get up. And you got to get up from the situation that is plaguing your family, plaguing you. And I want to tell you, you got this. You can handle it. You've been chosen. You've been assigned. You have all the tools you need to get through this. And I can tell you this, you can do it. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You can check me out on all my social media platforms. It's at I am Bruce Westfield. Look me up. I am Bruce Westfield. That's how you can search me on my social media platforms. If you want to check out things that I'm constantly doing, I do have a brand new website up. It's www.brucewestfield.com. That is www.brucewestfield.com. Also, my John Maxwell website is on there. You can click on that. But I just want to tell all of you, thank all of my continuous supporters. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you to everyone who listens in on all the episodes. I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you to all the new listeners today for tuning in. I appreciate you so much, more than you know. I love you. Hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed weekend. I'll see you next week.